everyone, thanks for stopping by. I just finished a new sketchbook and today I'm going to be giving you a tour of it. Alright, hello everyone. As I said in the intro, this is the most recent sketchbook I finished. Also, this is Una, my cat. She's going to be joining us apparently today. So this is my preferred type of sketchbook. It is a Strathmore Visual Art Mixed Media sketchbook. This is the little paper that goes over the top of it. I tore it off because it looks nicer. But as you can see from Hobby Lobby, it's about $12. I have tried a bunch of different sketchbooks throughout my artistic career, and this one is my favorite so far. It's a mixed media sketchbook, which means that the paper is thick enough to take like watercolor and marker and stuff, but it's not as bulky as watercolor paper, and it's not quite as expensive. So anyway, without further ado, I shall start the tour. This is a little Unicorno Tokidoki sticker I stuck on the front for decoration. Alright, and as you can see from the top here, I started this back in 2020 in July. Clearly it took me a long time to finish this sketchbook. But anyway, sometimes that happens. So anyway, this is my first spread. I'm not terribly, what's the word? Nervous about the first page of a sketchbook. I know that some people are always worried about messing it up. For me, I'm just kind of like, you know, it's a sketchbook. And part of that is sometimes I'll usually go through my sketchbooks after I finish them and get rid of pages I don't like and stuff. So anyway, I actually used to keep my first sketchbook pages blank, but then I realized that was kind of a waste of paper. So anyway, so I felt like drawing fashion related imagery, but also cats. So these are actually kind of based off of, I think, Pinterest images of different fashion, haute couture fashion and stuff. But I made everybody cats instead of the standard fashion lady. Oh hi. Oh, do you approve, Una? Do you approve of the cat? You approve. She approves. She approves of fashion cats. Anyway, and then later I added the marker. I think these are watercolor marker. I added them to kind of spice up the drawing. Oh, are you leaving? Okay, Una has left. So, see if I can flip this a little bit. So anyway, I'm also trying to get used to figuring out that's the best way to hold it. So, and then I have more fashion cats. I think I drew these all on the same day. I thought this was a really funny expression. So not having it. And then, yeah, I was in a real drawing mood on July 4th, apparently. These are just gesture studies of my cats, just kind of trying to, get their form and pick up basic shapes of the body and the face and that sort of thing. So this is just something I do to practice from time to time. This was a practice of John on his phone holding Suki, and this is another Suki practice. This one turned out really nice. I actually went back later and inked it and then colored around in purple, and I think this one looks really great. This is an interesting page here. There's a few pages like this in this sketchbook where the drawings here of Suki are ones I did late, I think probably on July, but then days later, months later, I went back and added this tracing paper and did a drawing of some philodendron leaves, and then kind of messed around with the transparency and adding more marker and stuff to it. This is an idea I actually had recently. I'm right now I'm in kind of a sketchbook phase where I'm just working in my sketchbook a lot. Sometimes I don't as much, but I actually felt inspired to go back to some of my old drawings and kind of mess around with them. So these were just kind of practice gestures that I kind of then messed around with later and did interesting things with. So, and then more on 4th of July. I was just really in a drawing mood. More of gestures. These are actually gestures of my pastor and his hands while he's preaching. I was watching a sermon, I think probably online. I was watching a sermon and just kind of sketching out the hand motions he would make, just kind of for practice and stuff. So I did that. Yeah, see, and then I went back later and kind of the ones I really liked, I inked, and then I added the watercolor marker. I'll try to remember to include a link in the description about those. And yeah, this is another one where I added the tracing paper and kind of did a drawing of my a philodendron leaf and then kind of layered it. I think this is a really cool idea, having the tracing paper layered, like drawings layered over other drawings. I don't know if I fully figured out how to make it really work yet, but I was just kind of trying to mess around. Oh yeah, and then I was adding more colors here. I was just trying to kind of mess around to see like what it would be like. So I haven't really perfected this yet, but this is kind of a first stab at it. So these were, again, sketches. I then went back and added color in later. These are notes from another sermon. So this is actually, as you can see, this page is from February, like this February of 2021. I actually did this random little sketch on just a little random piece of scrap paper. And since I had this blank page, I just decided to tape it straight in. So I did that. I don't usually do that, but I kind of like it. I kind of like it's a way to like tape over pages that are not that great, and yeah, so I think I'll do that more. This is a comic I made in July about my gardening struggles. You know, I have so much enthusiasm about gardening and staying on top of the weeds and everything in March, and then by the time July hits, the weeds have just taken over and I feel completely defeated. So I don't know, we'll see if I do any better this year, but that seems to be my the struggle every year. This is another page I did little sketches on from February and then added in later. This one, I think, this says September 2020 from the HGTV magazine. I think I might have actually sketched these. Oh yeah, see, there's the date, August 10th. So, and then later, like months later, I went back and added in I tried to add some valuing in. This is way too dark. But I feel like by the time that I added the values, I didn't have the images with me anymore, so I had to kind of make it up, which it's okay, but lights and darks and values are definitely something I need to improve in. So these were little like thumbnails for a Fox and Hedgehog comic that never ended up happening. These were little doodles of this story idea I had about like someone who built a house on the back of a beast, and they didn't know they had built it on the back of a beast, and so normally the house is this is all you can see in the creatures underground, but then one day it sort of rises off and carries their house off with them. It's a cool idea. I don't it's kind of in the playing around with it. I don't know if I'll actually do something with it someday, but I had fun drawing creatures with little houses on their back. And I drew these sketches so light that I had to go back and darken them or add some color and stuff to them just to make them a little more visible, which I think was worth it. Because one, you can now see them better, and two, I feel like it adds a little more spice and interest to the drawings. So yeah, here's some more. These ones are really light. I kind of really like this one though, the stingray. These were I was messing around with what characters might look like from this story. I don't know if I kind of played around with these sort of elf hobbit creatures. Or humans, I guess, and then I kind of thought, well, what if it's mice? What if it's anthropomorphic mice who live here, and there's a wise cat type figure. So yeah, messing around again, just playing around with ideas, trying to figure out. This character is actually based on a design from another idea that I hasn't come to fruition yet, but I kind of borrowed that design to see if it would fit. Again, more ideas. I thought that this design is really fun. I think this is a really fun character. Whether this character makes it into this story or another, I think this is a fun design, and I kind of hope that I use her somewhere. And then me kind of going back to human characters to see what would this character look like as a human. So that was kind of my take on it. Here's a little thumbnail of the main character looking at her house. It's wandered off, and she's trying to chase after it and get it back. I was doodling the word gratitude, and something I enjoy doing from time to time is taking a word and kind of messing around with the forms and the shapes of the letter to kind of get it to fit. Just kind of to basically design the font of the word, if you will. This one I was experimenting with the idea of gratitude as it being like a bulb in the ground, because I was just struggling at this time with feeling to feel joyful and grateful. And so that kind of inspired me to think of like gratitude as something that's present but dormant in my life at this time. But anyway, I was kind of messing around with the shapes, trying to as just an interesting exercise. And then sort of even in the design, I have this idea of like these parts of the letters are like reaching up, because I imagine this word going again with the theme of like gratitude as being like something that was dormant in my life, still present but dormant in my life at the time. I thought about like, what if the gratitude is trying to like reach up and grow to the surface? So that's kind of something I'm doodled here. Was working on adding the color in and stuff, and then just kind of never finished it. But I think it was still kind of a cool idea, and it was just helpful at the time to kind of meditate on the concept. This was some sketches I did for this doll I was customizing. I actually haven't finished this project yet. I got it started, but yeah, I haven't finished it yet. So this is me playing around with kind of like a mermaid / aquatic character, and then I was like, oh, maybe she should be a dragon. I ended up moving more in this direction, but it's not actually finished yet. I'm not sure if that would make a good YouTube video, like, topic to say, like, here's a doll that I started and haven't finished yet, or like, here's some random project I have started and not finished yet. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it would be interesting. So this is a collage page. Let me pull it down a little bit. Yeah, so okay, so I think I originally just did some rough practice sketches, but they didn't turn out all that great and weren't that impressive. So I went back later, again, yeah, in like this year, 2021, and just kind of did stuff over them. I typically usually work in chronological order, you know, go through the sketchbook start to finish. But this time, I decided I might as well kind of jump around a little bit and make the best use of my sketchbook as I could. And at this point, I was in like a collage mood. So I kind of like came up with these cool interpretations, like just kind of messing around with some scraps that I had in my, like that I had hoarded, that I had saved from like these. This right here is pieces of like paper from a chopstick. We've got some like watercolor paper. This is a paint chip. This is like a magazine image, another watercolor thing. Paint chip, these little like flower illustrations I had from a leftover project, more of the chopstick wrapper. So I think that it's cool because it's kind of like they relate to each other color wise and like material wise, but they're two different interpretations. So I thought that was really cool. Okay, so more random people practicing, more hand gestures of like I guess it's Paul Tripp. He's like a preacher, teacher type guy. We were watching a video series on him, and then he does this weird thing with his hand where he bends his pinky back, and I realized it's hard to do that, so I made a note about that. Random side thing. More, I think this was Paul Tripp again. And actually, interestingly enough, this right here, this brown, is tea. I like was messing around. I was trying to see if tea, like how that would be as like a stain or like a coloring thing in my sketchbook. So I think this one kind of looks cool. So this is my moon, or the moon character that I'm working on for that Buried Moon short project. I actually made a video about this already. You can check it out on my channel. This was the initial sketches where I was exploring it, and then later I went back and did a video drawing, kind of basically inspired off of these sketches. Yeah, it's like there's that pose again. Again, playing around with like the cape and that sort of thing. So this page right here is actually another. This is another thing I did a YouTube video on. I don't know if it'll be on my channel. I don't know if the sketchbook tour will make it first or this video will make it first to my channel, but I basically got these paints from the company Beam Paint. They make like natural paints from like pigments found in nature in a sort of traditional indigenous way, and I thought that was really cool. So I got some for Christmas, and I decided to do a video on testing them out. And I think this one turned out really good. And also, yeah, here's that fish. In the video, like, you can't really see the fish because of where it cut off. But anyway, I feel the need to point that out. So yeah, here's that picture. This is, I was playing around with I was playing around with set design or like stage design ideas for my church. I was sitting in church one day and being like, I feel like we could use it for a refresh on the set. So I was just messing around with what the ideas were. This was a fun idea John and I had. We were talking about the idea of like, when we get old, we want to be like epic old wizardy folks, and like we're gonna, I don't know, we don't want to just like accept life as aged, I don't know. We don't want to give up on life even when we're old. Like, and again, I have no idea what we'll be like when we're old, but I thought this was a really fun idea. I really enjoyed drawing that and sharing it. These are like random. Oh yeah, this is a problematic piece. So this is actually one of the first times I messed around with the whole tracing paper layer thing, and it was like really confusing. As I said, like I like this, but I don't know what I'm doing. And also, this washi tape won't stick. So that's why it keeps like why it flopped over, and I put this tissue here to keep it from smudging the image on the opposite side. So, which is this collage I made, again like paint chips. I like to use paint chips a lot in my collages. I think the like block of color is really cool. Some like textured like black charcoal paper, this like foam thing, and you know a magazine picture. Then we have these Constellation Doodles I did and just kind of taped in. I think these ones were me just kind of messing around, not actually, like, obviously that's, you know, there's a heart, it's not really a constellation. I think I was being inspired by constellations, but I wasn't really copying them. This, again, this is another, like, as you can see here, this was originally a page of, like, set design ideas, or stage design ideas, but I didn't really like those ideas or care for it, so I decided just to tape, a piece of sketchbook or tracing paper over it and draw. And this cat skull, it's funny, I was watching an Evan and Katelyn video. They're a YouTuber couple who do lots of cool things, and Katelyn was doing a drawing of a cat skull, and I was like, oh, that seems fun, I want to do that. So this is me like practicing, and then I was trying to draw from memory to see what it would look like. So that was fun. I enjoyed that. It turned out well too. This is another collage page. It's funny because this collage was something I spent a lot of time over. I can really debate and deliberate my collages and think about where I want all the pieces to go, and I can like move it around and stare at it for hours. So that's what I did with this one. And this one I just took a totally different approach and went really quickly and just layered everything in and then glued it all down right away. So I kind of did the whole like fast and slow approach to see what it would feel like, and I think they both look pretty good. So, and again, trying to kind of, since they're on like a similar spread, have them kind of relate to each other. So I think these turned out well, and I liked playing around with these colors. Again, this is a piece of we have paint chips, we've got magazine pieces. Actually, no, I think this is a piece of junk mail. I really like the colors on it. And yeah, this is from a chopstick wrapping paper, which apparently I use a lot of in my collages. More constellations. These ones I was actually copying. These are actual legit constellations. This was a page of sketches I did to like cheer myself up because I was feeling a little down, so I decided to draw. And I love this little wolf in a sweater. Oh my goodness! He is so cute. I actually want to do a digital painting of him, like just as he is. I don't even want to ink him because he's so perfect, and I don't want to accidentally ruin him. Like sometimes inking makes your sketches look better, and other times it just like sucks the life out of it. So this is the one I don't even want to like ink it. I just want to paint, like digitally paint it. So planning to do that. I think this is a cute idea too. I think I want to flesh it out a little differently, but I think that's a fun idea. Random stuff, drawings of little dollhouse furniture I've made, drawings of plants that I then added like the watercolor marker again. And these turned out really good. I was just in a really like intensive drawing mood this time, and I was like, I'm just gonna draw the plants that I see in my living room. So that's what I did. And again, this is John's hands and my cat Koji, who was snuggled up next to me. And I just think this is the funniest angle of a cat, like when their head is like tipped down and all you see is their chin. I think that just looks really cute and really fun. So yeah, more cat chin. Ooh, my hand's shaking. Ooh. And of course, toe beans, so adorable. So yeah, hands and cats. This is another collage. I don't even know where this came from. I think it probably came from a Lucky Cat figurine with, and then of course we've got our paint chips. Again, very frequently I use paint chips a lot in my collages. And I think these are like watercolor paper texture things. And this is another collage, another paint chip, and a stamp. This one's super duper simple, but I just kind of like it. I feel like this reminds me a little bit of like a birdhouse. And here's the bird. And then this, really super duper simple. I felt like this was a fun closing page. I had done these little sketches on like tiny pieces of paper. Yeah, just to see the scale. Like this is a really like little piece of paper. And I thought it would be fun just to stick that in and add some like fun painted texture paper around it. So yeah, that is my sketchbook. I hope you enjoyed this little tour, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye!